Shalom, Kol Haloyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. Really quickly, I just wanted to talk about the MOTB, the MARK of the beast, in which we here at Great Millstone believe it to be the microchip. If you put those two words together, and if you type it in on Google, if you've never seen it before, then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So we believe that to be the, I'll just say the mark of the beast. It is what it is. And of course, you have different views from different camps. And one of the more relevant, I'll say, breakdowns is that in terms of the MOTB here, in verse, let's say, what verse is it? Let me see, 16. Yeah, in verse 16, you have different camps out there and maybe other people teaching that in verse 16, when it says both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, that's referring to nations. And so I just wanted to bring out two quick precepts to prove that that's not talking about nations. So Revelation 13 verse 16 says, and he causeth all, that he's talking about Esau, Edom, the man that rules the entire world today. He's being called white, Caucasian, European, whatever you want to call him. Right? His true nationality are the Edomites, and that's who the he in verse 16 is talking about. So he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, I don't know what they say the right hand or the foreheads represents, but they say that the free and bond, small and great, rich and poor is talking about nations. I'm assuming their right hand and their forehead probably represents their strength or their might, something like that, right? But ultimately, this is talking about people. Whether you're small or great in status, whether you're rich or poor in status, whether you're free or bond, you're locked up or you're out here working, whatever, you're quote unquote free, it doesn't matter. Esau, Edom is going to create something. He's going to do something that causeth, meaning in the NLT, it says requires. He causes, requires, basically he makes people accept this chip. I'm just going to say it now. He's going to make a lot of people say, hey, I have to take this because there's a famine, because I have to feed my family, because I've lost my job, because the dollar collapsed, whatever he does. That's why you have that famous phrase, order out of chaos. And all we have to do is go back and look at Esau's timeline going through history, especially during the Roman Empire, and see how he's always throughout history caused certain things to happen. He's done it. He's made it happen so that he can bring in his solution, so that he can bring in his order, in which in these times that order out of the chaos is going to be, or the solution is going to be the mark. It's going to be that chip. Now, all we have to do is jump over to Revelation 14 and just read the judgment. That's it. We're going to grab this and just one more. Revelation 14 verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, it doesn't, you see in 13 verse 16, it just says small, great, rich, poor, free, and bond. Now right here, 14 verse 9, it says if any man. Why is it specifying man? Because that's who's going to take it. It's not talking about nations. It's not talking about countries. It's not a spiritual mark either. This is a physical mark that's going under people's skin. If any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. In the NLT it says, or who accepts his mark, right in his forehead or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire, he, not a nation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So if any man receives this mark, and of course that man is just referring to mankind, man, woman, child, doesn't matter. If they're not a part of the elect, especially if they take this mark, then they're going to be what? Tormented with fire and brimstone. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. The he right there is not talking about nations. Very, very simple. All we have to do is cross-reference in other verses where the MOTB is talked about. Just like this. Let's jump over 2 more chapters. When we go to Revelation 16 verse 2, we'll read it on the left. The King James, it says, "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell," it's talking about an angel, "and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men," once again, not nations, "upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." What's that talking about? That grievous sore. It's talking about a cancer, a disease. That's what it's referring to. Let's read it in the NLT. "So the first angel left the temple and poured out his bowl on the earth, and a horrible malignant, I guess, malignant. I'm assuming you pronounce the G. It is what it is. Malignant sores broke out on everyone who had the mark of the beast and who worshipped his statue." This is talking about men. Nations aren't going to receive a grievous sore. And if they believe that nations are going to receive some kind of grievous sore, they have to explain what that sore is talking about. What is it? Okay, so rich, small, great, rich and poor, free and bond nations are going to receive this mark, and then they're going to receive some kind of grievous sore. So what is that? They have to go into that and break that down. But no, at the end of the day, this is talking about people. It's talking about men, women, and children that are not of the elect, that the Lord is going to make take this mark. That's what it's talking about. Small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, people, not nations. That's why it's important to cross-reference, to go to different verses, and to really just study. That's it. That's all I'm going to bring out. Like I said, I'm not making this long at all. So Lord's will, I pray that this was edifying to the elect. Kahaloyim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Chakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.